Hey, what's up, guys? So here we are, round 4 of divorce and custody. Man, you've done all the things. You've started the process. You've walked through all the steps of taking care of yourself, making sure you separated yourself. Following the rules that are set out before you already. And now you go to the lawyer and they tell you this key term, right? Everybody says the same thing. Document everything. And you think, okay, cool, I got you. But you have no idea what that means. Let me tell you right after this introduction, guys. All right, check it out. All right, guys, I'm RC with RCL Counseling. I'm a licensed professional counseling associate under supervision in the state of Texas. If you're looking for these things, you can give me a call for a consult if you're in the state of Texas, or check out my website to schedule an appointment. But here we go, talking about what does it mean? What does it mean when everybody says documentation? Documentation wins court cases, man. And I know that you don't want to think this, but this is a court case, just like any other court case. They can even go to jury trial. Okay. Before we get into it, I want to preface by saying I am not a lawyer. These are life experiences of my clients and myself, and what we have gone through that have been successful and things that have not been successful. So I'm giving you this information for that reason. Entertainment value, use it as such, and we'll go from there. So, documentation. When people hear documentation, they think, oh, if I just write this down, okay? When we talk about court, though, we have to prove things with evidence. Evidence is key. And evidence is not, I wrote this down in a notebook, and so it must be true. Evidence is showing that it's true. Okay, your testimony is getting up there and telling your side of the story. But if you tell a series of events, then you have to find some way to prove those events. Okay, so the biggest one I'm going to say is photographs and videos. Photographs and videos. If you're seeing things that you believe are violations of court orders or you believe are going to help you in court, take a photo, record a video, talk to your kids, record a video of you talking to your kids, okay? If you're in extremely high conflict situations with a co-parent who's a huge problem, I would suggest a video recorder. A hidden video recorder, depending on, big quotes here, depending on the laws in your state. If your state says that both parties have to agree to be recorded, then you have to have consent from the other party to record what's going on, then you can't do that, okay? You cannot record somebody without their consent in certain states, so don't do it, all right? In certain states, like the state I'm in, Texas, it is a single party consent state. So if I agree that I'm going to record these situations or these whatever encounters, then I can record under Texas state law. Okay? Things in public can always be recorded. That's why surveillance cameras are legal. They can record the street outside of a house. Everything is legal to be recorded in the United States outside in public spaces. But when it comes to private spaces, depending on your state, follow those rules. Go back to that round. All right, the last round we just went through, round 3, follow the rules. That means the rules of the state. If you are in a state where you can record without other people's consent around you, I would suggest getting a recording device. I would say camera, but audio can work too, that records these situations. If you have to record every stinking moment you're around your ex, do it. Do it. Keep them. Get a huge hard drive off Amazon that's several terabytes large and just dump all of those videos and pictures onto that hard drive and just keep them. But I'll tell you this, okay? Lawyers are not going to look through this stuff. Lawyers are not going to go through hours and hours and hours and hours of video. Courts are not going to allow you to bring in thousands of hours of video and show it about your whole life experience with your ex. They're not. So, if something's important, you have to get it. You have to bring it out. You have to put it in a drive. You have to file it. You have to do these certain things. Your lawyer will ask for certain things, very small amount of things. Okay, they will not ask for thousands of hours in video. And take all of it to court. Take it all to court with you, because you may be able to use evidence to rebut some lie that your ex has told on the stand. If they lie and you can prove it with a photo, that will fall into other areas like perjury or contempt of court. Okay? So take it with you. Don't just use 5 videos and say, I've got enough. Take everything with you, because you might need everything. All right? So that's the easy part, right? We're going to get recordings. We're going to take photos. Okay? Other documents that you'll need to use. Screenshots. They send you a text, screenshot it. If you have to screenshot the entire conversation and then drive them or have a court-ordered app, there are several apps out there of co-parenting apps where they can get the entire text message stream. Do it. Do it. Screenshot years worth of text messages if they're still on your phone from your ex-husband, ex-wife, whatever it is. You screenshot them, put them in a file, keep them there, and then you're going to have to go back and read them, okay, and see what they are. And I'm going to get into that in a minute, because that's another area altogether, okay? So, another thing I would suggest, depending on the laws in your state, of course, is a call recorder. You can get an app on most phones that will record the phone calls. A lot of them were set up for certain phone numbers. So if your ex, in a state that you can, keeps calling you, cussing you, calling you names, telling you how much money they make or how much money they don't make or where they live or where they don't live, or that it's none of your business where they live, you can record those phone conversations, okay? If they're using your kids as alienation, you can record those conversations as well. But follow all laws in your area. Make sure you're not doing anything that's going to get you in trouble. Follow the rules, right? So, photos, screenshots, okay? Here's a big one. A lot of people miss is documentation. The documents for certain things. As a parent, very few parents, unless your rights have been removed, have the right to get all school information, testing scores, attendance records, disciplinary actions, just about in every state that I can think of. Some may not. Check the laws in your state or talk to your lawyer. But the state of Texas, for example, the state law says schools are required to provide that to any parent relationship. That's what the state of Texas says. Okay? This might be a problem. You might have to argue. You might have to file grievances to get this information. You might have to do some things that are new or uncomfortable. Ask people, step through the process, get your attorney and ask them. This may be stuff that they're not able to help you with, especially if you filed for divorce and custody with an attorney. They may not give you advice on how to get information from school districts. They may not, but there's always something. Google it, walk through the process. If you got to file a grievance to get your students' records, do it. File a grievance, okay? If you're going to be held to the standard, you need to hold them to the standard. A big thing, okay? Big examples. When somebody walks in and says, I need to change this child's address, for example, and then they say, oh, sure, and they just change it, and it should be your address, get in there and say, I need to see the document, okay? I have experienced this one personally where people have changed addresses for my children, and I walk in and say, I need this address fixed because it's incorrect, and they say, we need your court documents. And I say, where did they have the court documents in the first place? Or provide that information. I need you to provide the court document to me that said that their address should be changed in the first place. And they'll say they never got it because they never did. Your ex is playing games. And they're trying to make it like you're not a parent, or they're trying to alienate you. Okay? Abuse, a proxy abuse, I think it's been called. Parent alienation. Okay? So make them document things. All right? Be nice. Be nice. Like the old movie says, be nice. Ask them to walk. Ask them for the documents, but be nice. And make sure you have the documents. All right? This will include in most areas any records of financial for your children. So that would be if your children have earned money or they've had a job or employment, then things like that. You'll be able to get those records, tax documents, etc. School records, any school record that you under the age of 18, once a student turns 18, then like going to college, they have to fill out a form on their end for you to be able to get their information. So you may not be able to get that. So if your divorce has something to do with finishing college or being over the age of 21, then you may not be able to get information from 18 to 21, depending on the laws in your area. Okay. And health records are completely fine for you to get under the age of 18. Past 18, then your child's going to have to sign a consent. But you can get all of those records and even more. That's just a small list. But document, document, document. That's what you'll need in court. That's what you're going to use to prove your case. And if your case is just to prove alienation, then you can use that document that says your ex went to school and removed your address as alienation. You can't do that, especially if you have a court order already in place and they're not following the rules. But you need to take it. You can't just walk in and be like, well, he took my address off. And then he's going to say, no, I didn't. She's just not involved. You got to prove it. You got to prove it. Okay. So you want the documentation to back up your statement, to back up what you're saying. It's not hard to get, but sometimes it takes some time, and always be nice. Guys, if you're going through this in the state of Texas, if you're struggling in these areas, man, give me a call. Okay. Because let me tell you how much mental toil this takes on a person. It is hard to get through this. Okay, you gotta stick with it. It's a long game. Sometimes you gotta stick in there, and the brain is telling you that it's tired and doesn't want to do it anymore. But you gotta just keep going. If you're dealing with that in the state of Texas, give me a call. rclcounseling.com. We can talk about those things. We can even set up a plan on how you're going to deal with those things, and I can help you walk through some of those things. Especially if they're claiming any kind of mental things. If your ex is claiming that you have mental issues, give me a call. I have no problem talking to courts. I have no problem going to court or being a witness in court. So I can help you out. All right, guys. rclcounseling.com. Give me a call or schedule a session in the state of Texas only. I'm sorry for everybody else. And I'll see you on the next one.